At UFC 261, Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal are set to face each other once again. Now, when it first was announced, I wasn't that excited for it, but as the fight comes closer and closer, I think, especially on the Jorge Masvidal camp, I'm getting a lot more excited. And as the fight gets closer, I've been looking at footage. I've been looking at the first fight. I've been looking at other fights that both Usman and Jorge have competed in, and everything that's happening. I think Jorge wins this fight via KO, and this is how he does it. Before we go any further, make sure to like and subscribe to the video. If you like videos like this, let us know in the comments below. In order to best pledge my case, we will review their first fight and touch on both their careers as well. In the first bout between the two, there are some glaring takeaways that are sure to play a role in the rematch. 1. Masvidal understood that his gas tank was compromised coming into this bout. He has 6 days to prepare for this fight. This included traveling to Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, but also losing a tremendous amount of weight. Knowing this, Masvidal asserted a very fast-paced approach, which he would inflict as much damage as possible on Usman as quickly as possible. 2. Kamaru's grappling game is far superior than Jorge's, and that was made very evident in this matchup. Jorge in his career has demonstrated that he is very good at scrambling back to his feet and out of the clinch. Kamaru converted on 5 out of 16 takedown attempts. That's a 31 accuracy rate. In contrast, Kamaru has a takedown success rate of 47% across all his fights. Granted, of the 16 attempts, there were entries that were used to merely initiate the clinch and weren't genuinely meant to take down Jorge. Regardless though, Jorge did stuff and scramble to his feet, better than some of Usman's previous opponents. Jorge did something better than other strikers have done against Usman. What he did was he stayed out of grappling range, and when he did enter into the pocket or into that clinch range, he didn't stay there longer than necessary. He would get in and then get out, get in and then get out. One issue that Colby had, for instance, in his fight was that he was landing combinations, but the problem was that once he was in that pocket range, he stayed there way too long, and it gave an opportunity for Usman to absorb the shots that Colby threw and then return with a single, much stronger blow, whether it be a straight, whether it be a cross or a jab, whatever it may have been. Usman really doesn't excel or throw combinations on the feet. His hand speed is very limited to single powerful shots. Anything more than 1 to 3 strikes, he starts to lose accuracy and technique. That being said, he is very good at a single jab or single cross or straight onto his opponent. His reach of 76 inches also helps him stay on the outside and pick off his opponent with his reach. If the opponent gets too close, Usman will go for a takedown or just cover up and move back outside of his opponent's range. Colby was too willing to stay right in front of Usman. Yes, Colby was able to land combinations at volume, but at what expense? Because he was still in the pocket throwing a combination, Usman was able to throw a heavy counter that eventually was the demise of Colby. As well, when Colby stood in front of Usman, Kamaru would implement his jab in range to throw Colby off his rhythm. 4. Usman has been caught when striking with faster, more dynamic strikers. An instance that we'll look at is against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert cuts off the cage, so Usman goes to his left. Once he throws a jab, Gilbert times an overhand right to sneak through Usman's guard and hit him. One thing that we will note is that when he landed that strike, his mistake was that he went way too close to Usman. He gave Usman the time to clinch, to gather himself, as opposed to maybe taking a step back, right? Letting Usman feel that range, perhaps get another similar strike landed onto Usman. But instead, Gilbert went very close. He kind of clinched with them. It got really messy. It gave Usman time to recompose himself and get back into the fight. Another instance of this same technique being used was here in the first round. In another instance where he lands the same technique, Gilbert fakes a left body kick which Usman reacts to and circles to his left. Then Burns uses that to throw an overhand right that landed. 5. Kamaru goes for a single leg and attacks the lead leg. He snatches it but isn't the fastest. He can get caught with a well-timed knee or guillotine if you're able to get under his chin. For instance, let's look at what Gilbert Burns did to Usman in their bout. he goes in for a single leg, and Gilbert Burns times it with the knee. It's not the hardest knee. It doesn't necessarily land the most flush, but it just tries. It kind of demonstrates that you can land that knee. Usman really hasn't had trouble when he goes for that single leg snatch attempt, but it might come into play. You never know. Maybe Jorge comes into this fight and sees what we see right now, where Gilbert Burns hits that knee, and he says, you know what, maybe I can time that. Maybe I can time that when Kamaru Usman gets desperate and goes for that single leg takedown. Even though Kamaru Usman is the best welterweight in the world today, his game is pretty straightforward. Usman has limited tools that he has put together in an unstoppable package. Jorge, on the other hand, has advantages that may help him finish this fight. He is a much faster fighter and elusive when he needs to be. Jorge has KO'd opponents in the past and will look to do it against Usman this time. Jorge is going to have to implement a very high pace for this fight. He has to stay on the outside, come in when he needs to land some blows, and then instantly get out. Kamaru Usman very, very much uses a clinch to his advantage. He uses it to rest. He uses to land a lot of regular strikes, not significant ones necessarily, but that's his game. He wants to wear you down. He relies on his cardio. He relies on just imposing his will and trying to break you, and that's what he's trying to do. He said that he wants to break Jorge this time, but Jorge has a big chance. Jorge has an opportunity to go in there, stay on the outside, land some strikes, and then if needed, he can scramble back to his feet and outlast Kamaru. Now, do I think this is a guaranteed win? No, but I definitely think a month-long camp for Jorge, it will do wonders for him in this fight. It will look different, but similar to the first fight, and I think Jorge is going to win this via KO. Book it.
Do you think the second one's going to be any different than the first one?
No. Just being honest.
Give me something. Give me more than just no.
Well, I do believe that, to say, is it going to be any different? The odds are that it won't be different. That's just a fact. You look at just statistics and you can go by a whole lot of things. Kamaru's already been in there with George. George has been in there with Masvidal. I mean, with Kamaru Usman. He knows what he thinks he can do. He believes that if he's in better shape, he can do things in a better fashion. But I agree that, you know what, he didn't have a whole lot of camp and wasn't able to prepare. But it was also what occurred in that fight kind of shows you the way it's going to go. That doesn't mean that Masvidal can't touch Kamaru Usman and hurt him with a punch and finish him off, or just doesn't mean that, Masvidal can't come out and throw a flying knee in the first 5 seconds and knock him out, even though that's never going to happen to anybody. But that's kind of good, huh?
Mm-hmm. Won't ever happen.
It can, anything can happen, but if you look at the odds of it is the same thing is going to play out.